everyone, it's Katie here. Welcome back to another practice. Today we're doing a feel-good yoga practice for the legs. In our series of feel-good yoga, we've worked through most of the body parts, so now it's time for the legs to feel good. For this practice, you will need some kind of strap. You can use a belt or anything at all that resembles a strap. And as always, it's handy to have cushions or yoga blocks nearby if you are a beginner. So press pause if you need to, and then we're going to start just seated on the mat. So you might close your eyes, lengthen up through your spine, relax your shoulders, and loosen up your jaw. Start to draw a deep breath into your body. With an exhale, let go of any stress or tension that you're holding on to today. We'll just continue breathing as we are, giving yourself some time to arrive to your yoga practice. Anytime your mind gets pulled away, that's normal, but just ask it to come back. We're just going to follow the breath for a few more cycles. We'll take one more big breath in together, and as you exhale you can start to open up the eyes again, and we'll make our way into tabletop pose. So we're coming on to all fours. Spread your fingers wide apart, have your shoulders above your wrists and your knees below your hips. We'll start getting warmed up just with a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhale to point your tailbone up, drop your belly, bring your chest forward and look up. Exhale, point the tailbone down, round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest and drop the head. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, rounding down. Keep going, a few more. And then when you're ready, you can come back to center. We'll move into tiger pose now. So it's just like cat and cow, but this time as you inhale, start to pick your right foot up towards the ceiling, looking up, and then imagining you've got a magnet in the sole of your foot and the crown of your head, and they're really trying to push towards each other. On an exhale, we'll round the spine and pick the nose up towards the knee, dropping your head. And this time you're really trying to touch your nose to your knee. Inhale to take us back up. Exhale, rounding down. We'll do a few more like this. I find this a really great way to stretch your quad. So really try to get your toes up towards the ceiling. And you can even just stay here like this if that's what feels good for you. And then when you're ready, we'll bring that right knee back to the mat and we'll take it over to the left side. So inhale, left foot comes up, magnetize foot to head. Exhale, rounding down, magnetize knee to nose. So keep going just like this. I do want to acknowledge my red on red outfit choice here. It is really cold where I am today. It's May, but it's 0 degrees. And I just grabbed this long sleeve top and I was already wearing the red pants, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna go with it. And I kind of like it, to be honest. Whenever you're ready, you can bring your left knee back to the mat. Take the weight out of your wrists for a moment. You might just sit back. You can always stretch through your forearms if you need to. And then we'll make our way back to tabletop pose. This time you can bring your right foot forward in between your hands. So you're just coming into a simple lunge. You might walk that back knee back behind you. Take a big breath in here, open up the hips. And then as you exhale, we'll start to slowly straighten up this front leg, bringing the fingers back towards us. And you might even point your toes up towards the sky. Nice runner's lunge here, working on that hamstring. You can just hold the pose like this, or you can inhale to come up onto your fingertips and look forward. And then as you exhale, come onto your palms and encourage your nose down towards your knee. And keep following your breath, inhaling to come up and look forward, exhaling, palms down, nose to knee. You might pause here for a second when your nose is dropped. And then we'll start to make our way back to our lunge, walking forward. When you're ready, bring that right foot back, swap it out for your left, finding your lunge here on the left side. Take a big breath into your hips. And then we'll start to walk backwards, maybe pointing those toes up. And again, stay here or start to ride your breath. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, dropping down. Now you can start to make your way back to your lunge. Take a brief second there if you need it to, and then we'll bring that left foot back. Hands can come a bit closer to the top of your mat here. We'll curl the toes, start to lift your knees and drag your hips up and back for downward facing dog. So first we might just paddle the feet here, opening up through the backs of your legs. And then you might start to hold your downward dog. So feet are about hip distance apart, knees are bent, tailbone points up, and release your head towards your mat. Keep pushing yourself away from your mat. And since we're focusing on our legs for this practice, you can drop your heels towards the mat, but don't worry about how close they actually come to the mat. Now take some really big breaths. Open up all through your hamstrings and your calves. taking one more big breath in. Savor every sensation you feel in the back of the legs. Exhale, both knees can come back down onto the mat, and we'll come to sit with our legs out long in front of us. So if you're a beginner, or even if not, you might sit up on a cushion here. We're going to stay sitting on the mat for the next few minutes, and we're going to come into nose to knee pose. So we'll start by bringing the right foot up into the left thigh. So it's the sole of the right foot in as close as you can get it to you. If your right knee needs a bit of support here, you can put a cushion in underneath. Now we'll inhale to reach the hands up, and as you exhale, just drop your hands down wherever they land along this left leg, and then drop your nose towards your knee. Take your time here. It will take time for the body to open up, so all you have to do is patiently wait, find your breath. And maybe you can use each exhale to drop a little bit deeper to the pose. Now, if you do want to go a little bit deeper, you can flex this left foot as if you're trying to touch your toes to your shin, and gently press your left knee down into the mat. So you'll really start to feel more of a stretch within your hamstring. Now maybe your body is inviting you to go a little bit deeper, and only if it is you can accept that invitation just for the last few breaths here. Now your next inhale can start to slowly push you up away from the mat. Send that right foot out long, and then we'll bring the left foot in. So same thing, bring the sole of the foot into the thigh, support this knee if it needs it. Inhale to reach up, exhale to fold. Don't worry about how far your hands go along your leg. It's not about how it looks, it's how it feels. So tap into all of those feelings now. Kind of back to square one. When you're on the other side, you're feeling a little bit stiff again. So just wait, keep breathing. Your body will slowly start to let you into the pose a bit further. On this side again, if you want to go deeper, you can flex your right foot, gently press the back of your right knee into your mat. Last few breaths here. Inhale to start to pick yourself up away from your mat. Left leg can come back in front, and you can shake out your legs here if you need to. Now from here, we'll make our way to Pigeon Pose. So you can come back towards Tabletop Pose, but instead we'll bring our right shin out in front of us. So you're keeping your front foot flexed. That's going to protect your front knee, and keep the top of your back foot pressed down into your mat. Try to keep your hips square here, so don't collapse over onto the right side. And you can keep your hips square by pulling your feet towards each other. Now you can stay here if you want to go a bit deeper. You can come down to your forearms. And this is a great pose for the glutes, but I also find it gets a nice stretch into the back quad as well. So find your breath wherever it is. Send it deep down into your body wherever it's needed. Each time you exhale here, maybe you can let go of something. It doesn't have to necessarily be within the hips. Maybe you can relax your shoulders more, or relax your jaw. Or maybe if your mind is holding something, just exhale to let it go. Now we'll make our way out of Pigeon Pose. So whenever you're ready, come back to your forearms, or fingers rather, and we'll step back to Downward Dog. Take your time getting there. We'll meet back, paddle the feet, connect to your breath again. This time your left shin will come forward, so you can come back to your knees if you need to, or just bring it to the front. Set yourself up for pigeon, so flex your front foot, press your back foot into your mat, square your hips by pulling your feet towards each other. You can stay here or come to the forearms. Each exhale helping you to drop something. Last few breaths here, so maybe you can relax your shoulders or loosen your jaw. Let gravity open you up a little bit further. And then you're reversing, making your way back to Downward Dog. We'll take an extra few seconds here just to help to digest those pigeon poses. When you're ready, walk your feet towards your hands. So you come into a standing forward fold. Feet stay about hip distance apart and knees can stay bent. Relax your head down towards the ground. Hands can hang low or they can come to grab opposite elbows. We'll stay here for a few moments. letting your hamstrings lengthen. So keep sending your breath down into the back of your legs, helping to get rid of any tension there. And even though we're focused on the legs, you might bring your awareness to your neck for a moment. It can tend to clench up in this pose because it's trying to protect your head and keep it supported. But just let it know that it's okay for your head to hang here. Those muscles can relax. And then while you're there, loosen up your jaw as well. Remember, you can keep your knees bent in this pose, don't lock them. We'll take just a few more breaths here, so savor your last few seconds in this pose. Hands can come to the mat if they're not there already. We'll take a really generous bend into the knees, and you can bring yourself back to sit on your mat. We're not going to stay here. We'll come back down onto our backs. Make sure you have your strap nearby. And then slowly come back down. We'll take a second here in Savasana Pose. So arms and legs nice and wide apart, palms faced up. Let gravity press you down into the floor. Take a few really conscious breaths. And start to come back again, just moving whatever way you are craving to move. Now we're going to stretch out our hamstrings with a pose called Flamenco Pose. So you can take your strap and then wrap it around the sole of your right foot. If you don't have a strap here, you can always just hold your leg up. If you do have a strap, take the strap into your right hand. Left hand can just relax. We want our arm and leg to stay as straight as possible. And then have your grip in a way that isn't going to hurt your hand, but still allow your leg to stay straight. So once you've found that balanced point, we'll just relax. Breathe as deeply as you can. Now we'll start to open up the right leg. So keeping the arm and leg straight, just bring your leg over towards the right side of your mat. Only going as far as you can. It doesn't matter how far over or close to the floor it goes. Opening up through your leg from a different angle here. Come back to your deep breathing. With an inhale, pick your right leg back up to center. Now you're going to switch your strap. So now your left hand takes the strap, right arm can relax. Now you're bringing your leg over towards the left side. Again, don't look at it. Don't worry about how far over it's going. Just focus on your breath and what you're feeling here within your leg. Now we'll inhale to bring the leg back to center and you can release the strap. So right leg feels really good, left leg not as good yet. Take a second just to process everything. And now, of course, we'll repeat on the left side. So strap comes to the left foot. Hold the strap with your left hand. Keep the arm and leg as straight as you can. Be conscious of the grip in your left hand here, just enough to keep the leg up and straight. Relax everything. Connect to your breath. And we'll just stay here. The pose will do all of the work. From here, you're going to start to open up to the left, keeping the strap in your left hand. Just feeling whatever you feel. Now you can start to inhale to pick your left leg up. switch the strap. So your right hand holds the strap and then bring that left leg over to the right. On your next inhale, you can pick your left leg back up and release your strap. So you're just resting here on your back. Let your legs soak up everything. Observe whatever you're feeling. Now you're welcome to stay here in Savasana Pose. I definitely recommend that you do. And if you want to do a 10-minute guided relaxation in Savasana, I have a video that will help you to do that. So I'll leave it here. Otherwise, we'll officially end our practice here. So thank you so much for practicing with me. I really appreciate you being here, and I love practicing yoga with you through YouTube. If you liked this video, please leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, leave me a comment, I'd love to hear from you, or join my Facebook community group, which there's a link to in the description of this video, because I'd really love to get to know you better. So thanks again for joining me. I'll see you for our next practice. Until then, goodbye.